All right, so before we jump into the layout, I real quick just wanted to go over about the headband drop. So these are super limited. There's already been a couple that have been sold because I posted it up for my members first, and then on Instagram and all of that. So I just wanted to talk about it real quick. So the different kinds that we have, these are all 10-ounce denim, and they are super limited runs. So this is what I'm calling New Horizon. So it's a custom tiger stripe with kind of like a snakeskin pattern inside of there. So it's the same colors as my logo. This one I'm calling Daggers. So it's a vertical tiger stripe. This one is New Horizons Trinity. So it's a 3-piece, so it's going to be custom. So I'm sorry, every single one is going to be unique just because of the way that the fabric all comes together. And then the last one is my GMO or GM0. So it's an alternating. There are only 4 of these, and I think 1 or 2 is sold already. There are only 5 of the New Horizons Trinity, and then there are 10 of the Daggers and 10 of the New Horizon, just the regular. Both the New Horizon and the Daggers are 100. The New Horizon Trinity is 150, and then the GMO is 200. So shipping's included with all of that, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. For those that have already bought some of these, I am going to be doing something where the jerseys that we have for Philly, for each of these sets, so I'm going to be giving away 4 jerseys. Once all of them are sold, I'm keeping some jerseys off to the side. And once all of them are sold, I'm going to select out of those sections or those drops and select a winner out of that. So you have a 1 in 4 chance of the GMO, 1 in 5 for the New Horizons Trinity, and 1 in 10 for the other one. So I'm going to stop talking. Let's jump into this layout. Okay, so just like any layout breakdown that we do, this is just my first impressions, just trying to see what is it that might be possible before we go and step on the field this weekend for the first time and figure out more about this particular layout. So I apologize because my other light went out, so I'm hoping that this one will last, and I'm just going to talk quickly and let's go through it. So what we're going to do first is go through the back line, and then I think we have it where we go snake side, Dorito side, center, and then we're going to look at a couple possible bounce shots. There's a couple that I'm not even 100% sure on, but it's at least something that you can get started with. Again, just like any other breakdown that we do, you may get out to the field and see something completely different, and that is okay. Like even in our chat, we were looking at some stuff with the ML Kings and noticed there is another shot for the snakes. I'm going to talk about that one as well. I just don't have it here on the page. So anyways, let's start with the back center. So back center, you can see here that they do have some shots if you need to help out the Dorito side. You can shoot into there. These shots over the top are going to be blind because you have to shoot over and drop into that Dorito. I think depending on how you come up, this might be possible, especially if they're going to run a deeper route. If they run a more shallow route, they might be able to get underneath it, but at least it's an option that you can try there. You can pull up real quick. It's going to be hard to shoot this guy, so if they have someone that's floating and then dives out, this is going to be a shot that would be probably useful to eliminate that player. Looking on the snake side here, you have that same shot going, kind of threading the needle a little bit, but you're able to shoot into that can. Over the top, you can drop it into this brick. And then the one that I was talking about before, if you take a little bit of a step off, you can actually shoot through this gap into where the snake is at. Now, if someone is shooting back up the gut, they're going to be able to shoot you. So you'd have to make sure that you kind of play around with it, figure out exactly, okay, what is it that we can adjust to make sure that guy is able to shoot the snake. Like if someone's trying to go snake off break, you'd be able to shoot them. Now, if they're already in the snake and you're still in this back center, I'm still kind of torn on if I would want to stay there or not, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So you can shoot into here. Now, with this snake 3, as they come around, if they really hug it and they time it perfectly, I think they can still get past your gun. But if you have paint pumping through here, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for them to be able to come around, because you should be able to skim it right over the top of this beam and drop it right into there. But again, we'll see how that works out. And then if they're in your snake, being able to at least stop them from coming around into your snake 1. This is not going to be a good spot to stay in if that's the case, but at least you have that option. Let's say someone surprises you and tries to come around, you have that shot going into there. From this can, you do have these shots into the Dorito 3 to 4 and the Dorito 4 to 5 gap. So you can shoot into there, as well as if they try to battle you a little bit, you can shoot back, keep them honest, make sure that they're not going to be able just to have full control over that tape. The inside shots here into that can, I think if you running gun out, shooting back into that guy, as well as maybe into this brick, just something to keep them honest. If it forces them to have to dive instead of being able to have a gun up, that helps out with just having, they just have less firepower essentially to be able to shoot back at you. Into here, of course, you have that snake shot. The thing that's going to be difficult for you snake players is that there's this cake here instead of it being the beam and then a cake, so you have to commit around there. You can't just sit back here. You might be able to survive in this section right here. I'd have to look more into that, but it's going to be really difficult. Whereas at least when you come around and you get into like here, you have the beam that you can hide behind, you have this wing, you have things that you're able to use to your advantage. And then you can shoot into this gap as well. Again, if a player is trying to come around over to here, you can at least try to keep them honest, but I think if they crawled to the inside here and hugged the beam, they might still be okay. So this snake, I think, is going to be pretty deadly. It might be one of these snakes that you need to go and basically just pump a couple bodies into there, and then yeah, it might be one of those that you just try to go down, do as much damage as you can, and then expect someone to trade out with you, and then you have someone else to fill in. But time will tell, I guess, for that one. You do have the same shot going across into this Dorito. There's a couple people that can shoot this gap. So if you're a Dorito player, you want to make sure that you're checking off and fully committing. I think it's going to be one of those sides that you just you can't really like lollygag. You have to just dive right in. So again, with the green section here, you can at least come out to running gun, shooting back into the center, and shooting into the tower here, as well as into that can. And then shooting the heads up. If you really book it out here, you might at least be able to see that they dove into the snake. Actually, I just noticed this now. You can shoot. Yeah, absolutely you can. So right over the top of this little brick and drop straight through here. I think that shot's going to be there as well. So at least you can throw paint that way. If the guy's trying to really come around here quick and their pack comes up, you might be able to clip their pack. But at least if you just dive out real quick and pull up and start shooting through this gap, you'll be able to at least be able to see them if they do make it through. Let's say it's someone like Keith Brown that's just super fast. It's going to be difficult to try to catch them on the move. So it might be one of those ones that you dive out, and at least you have eyes that way that someone did go into the snake, and then you can figure out what you need to do from there. The snake corner is not going to be able to help with protecting your snake. If someone stays low and crawls around through here like that, the snake corner is not going to be able to see it. They can shoot down the tape. They can shoot at their other mirror. They can wrap. There's some good shots that they have going into, so if they haven't gone into the snake and they're stuck in here and you dove out here to help your snake player, just know that there's no one else in the snake with them, and you came out to wrap and shoot back into these guys, yeah, that's going to be useful. But I don't think this is going to be one of those corners that you go out and you just, they just have to contain you. It's not a corner that you're going to contain the snake coming down the tape, just because once they get in here, really, the only time that you'd be able to shoot them, even if they came out over here, you'd have to take a couple steps out and know that they're going through here to drop the shot over the top, or come out real wide to shoot down the tape, which I'm not saying it's impossible to do, but it's just one of those that you're going to have to guess at the right time. And then the inside shots here into the wing. Let's see, over across into the Dorito section here. I wouldn't count on this one. I wouldn't say like go here and dive across. Just know that that shot is there. and then into this gap here. So if someone over here needs help, then you're able to do that. But I wouldn't personally send someone here to go and shoot this gap because it's so far. All it takes is the guy maybe to even run this inside route and then dive across. Maybe try to use the, well, I guess they would be out in the open a little bit, but even if they can get underneath your lane, there's a couple options that they would have. So it's not something that, okay, send a guy here and shoot this gap and you're going to know for sure that they won't get past it. So these gaps over here are going to be more just to help, you know, someone calls over for help, you can throw paint that way. But I think if you're going to go to this corner, if they haven't gotten into the snake, this is going to be pretty solid to probably get into. I think there's going to be some other options up here that would be a little bit better. But let's say that you're in this brick and they haven't gotten in there and you dive out, you can, because it's a Aztec, you can stand up over the top. You have a lot of options to be able to fight from, to wrap and you know, kind of put people in and do all that, and help out your snake guy. Just know that, you know, they're safe essentially. So the snake you can see here is super busy. So let me go ahead and I'll turn this around. So the snake again is just super busy. I'm going to try to go through each color here. I was trying to do different ones, but there's just so many options in the snake that I really think that this is going to be more snake dominant. My opinion right now, it'll be more snake dominant. Going into this God bunker, you have some shots into there. I really wouldn't. I mean, maybe you could sit down and lay down and just start pumping paint through here, but I don't know. I don't know if that's, I think there's going to be better spots to do that from. This guy's probably going to be able to help more shooting into this gap to maybe keep someone from diving across, maybe shooting the outside so this guy can't wrap, but it's going to probably be more just this player diving into the snake. From the snake one, you do have a shot into the inside. If they're already up into here, then actually it might actually happen. Who knows? But you do have some wrap shots. You can see the orange. I know it gets kind of busy here. Into there, going up into the snake 2. If they do try to make this dive, again, like what I was saying, if you're a Dorito player, you really got to commit hard. You can't just like lollygag across through there. There's a couple people that can shoot into that gap, so it's going to be difficult to make it in there. So don't just assume that Dorito side's clear, I can just easily walk down. You're going to have to really dive in to each section just because there's some people that can shoot into that gap. So with this red line, into the brick, into that Aztec, on the outside you can shoot into the Aztec, and don't forget about being able to use the top section here. So using that little nipple, that'll help block you out a little bit. You could probably even stand up just a tiny bit, shoot up over the top into that can. Getting into the snake 3, again, same shot. So you're able to shoot into those gaps. You're able to shoot into that brick. So my other center players like me, I mean, I play Dorito side too, but you're going to need to play tight. It's not like one of these that you can kind of back up a little bit and you're blocked out by other things. I think it's going to be more really trusting the other players, but really listen in to where these other guys are at and know who it is that can shoot you. So if I hear snake 3 and I'm in this brick, I know I really need to push in, or I need to try to play this outside more so that way I'm protected. It's going to just hit this section, you know, things like that. You can wrap the outside, shoot into that wing, into that box. Coming up into here, there's the brown lines. I know I stole my son's marker set, so so of course going into that brick, that wing, into this Dorito side. I think it's just going to be like just dive in, just do a whole bunch of damage. Obviously, if you can keep going down as far as you can, you're going to be able to get more and more shots, and they're going to have to worry about you. You do have I have the blue pen line here, so that's the black one actually, but across there. So again, if you hear snake and you're anywhere else on the field, just push in and play like they're all the way down, just because of the fact that they can really just kind of just sneak on down and do a lot of damage. Also, they can wrap the outside. There's a couple other shots that they have there. I'm sorry, we're on this one. So same thing though, they can wrap. Getting into your snake 2, they of course can come up to here, shoot in. So if you're not posted that way, which I don't know that you really would be, but shooting into those sections there, and then also the wrap. And then of course, with you get into their snake one, it's going to be even worse for them. You know, you're able to do a lot of damage from there. So yeah, I think my snake players that watch here, I'm going to see if I can't get into the snake a little bit this weekend, but we'll have to see what happens exactly. But it's going to be a bloodbath in here. I know someone else said that it was going to be a real aggressive center, or the center is going to be fun. I don't know if it's going to be one of those ones that you just rush through. I think the snake is going to be where games are won and lost. Just right now. I mean, I can be completely wrong, right? So Dorito side does have a lot of shots as well. I just think that the snake is going to be a little bit stronger. That's just my opinion, and I'm a Dorito and center player, so it's not anything against my my players that watch that are Dorito players as well. But inside shot, the reason I have this dotted line is that way if the guy is trying to fill out or maybe is sitting back a little bit further, you can shoot up over the top of this brick as well. But this tower is going to block you out a little bit, but you can shoot into there. Maybe someone's able to push them into your gun. Wrapping, you can shoot up into the Aztec. You can shoot into the brick there, and then of course shooting your tape. But you can't protect your player if you have someone in front of you. So this isn't going to be the bunker that you want to get to help protect them. Unless they're stuck. If they're stuck and not in the Dorito, then this wouldn't be terrible because you can shoot even past here and just keep pumping paint and help them out. But if they're already in the Dorito, you can't stop any movement really once they're into this Dorito too. The little Dorito is going to be, I don't know how useful it's going to be. Like there are some shots that go into, but I don't know. I'm not really convinced that this is going to be a really, really powerful bunker. And it's so small that if you have to start battling out of it, it's not going to be as easy. Once, of course, you get further down the field, it gets better. So over through this little drop in the wing there, you can shoot the can as well as into that brick. So you might be able to drop some shots through there into here. Again, see what I mean about my center players? You're really going to have to live behind your gun. It's not one of these that you can really sit back. You really have to play super tight because there's going to be these shots that come through that are able to kind of clip a pack if you're sitting too far back. Of course, the shot into the can there. So if you do have someone in front of you and you came here and they're not past the can, well, you can just sit there, and even if they start to put you in, you can just roll off and shoot into the Dorito. And that still allows your other player to continue to still have a little bit more dominance on this side. Once you get into this Dorito 4, things get a lot better. So you have a better shot into someone's back. Wrapping, you can shoot into that same can, and you have a little bit better of an angle. You might be able to shoot them heads up, or it's going to help push them over this way, so that way someone else on the snake side can shoot them. Into this tower is not going to be as easy just because they're bigger bunkers, but you do have that shot. And then shooting into this section, you have a lot of shots that you can shoot into to help with getting into the Dorito 5. Now the Dorito 5 is where you're going to start doing more damage because you have more direct shots into people. But again, there's so many shots that come into here that there's a lot of people that can shoot into this gap. So once you commit, you have to commit 100%. It's not a shoot slowly and slowly walk up, because there's a couple people that if it's a good team and they're working together, they're going to be able to clip you. So in this Dorito, you can do a lot of damage, but getting into there, this gap is going to be one that's going to be an issue. Of course, once you get to their Dorito, I didn't do any lines on this one, but once you get to their side, it's always going to be good. So, I mean, like, you have super direct shots going into there, and this is one that you might be able to kind of sneak across and shoot into a couple people's backs. But, of course, you still have this person that can shoot into there. And then wrapping, just going down the field is going to be good. All right, so let's start getting into the center. So I'm not really 100% on how to play this yet. It's not like one of those ones that I look at and I go, oh, okay, it's definitely going to be, you know, this is the option that I would want to take, like the Florida event. I think there's a couple different options. Just depends on, you know, what it is that the team needs to do. But let's go from left to right. So going into this tower, you have a lot of drop shots. So there's blind shots. Remember that with all of these, they can shoot back at you as well. But you have drop shots going over this brick. They might still be able to sneak through, but just know that if someone asks for help or you wanted to just throw paint that way, you can do that. You can also shoot into this gap, so this guy's going to have an issue getting in. Shooting into a couple different bunkers across from there. They're not going to be confirmed like you're always going to shoot that person, but it's going to be something that will help you at least keep a little bit of control. If they like, for instance, this brick to the god, this little brick diving across, they have to worry about you because you have that shot going right in, and you really have some wiggle room too. So even if you missed a little bit here, you're still able to shoot into that section and cause some issues. And because it's a bigger bunker, if they put you in, you roll off a little bit, you'll still be able to shoot into this gap. So that'll be good. I don't know that I would stay here. I'd want to move up. That's just also me. But all right, and then this center Aztec. So of course, shooting up the gut, you can see, you know, who's coming up this way, or at least throw some. So these dashes are blind shots. So you're shooting up over the top of the brick and shooting over the top of the brick here. If they're really hugging this or going up and across, like if they go like that kind of a route, I don't know that you're going to be able to shoot them, but this drop shot might be able to catch the guy going to the snake corner. So that's just an option. The better option is probably going to be shooting either the heads up here or onto this Dorito side. The reason being is you're able to see, did they go past this Dorito one? Did they go into this can? You're blocked out from here, but even if they go, you see them really committing, you're going to be able to tell for the most part that they committed to the Dorito one or they stopped at the can. At least you'll have eyes this way to see, did they move to the Dorito one? Did they go past it? And then from there, you can figure out what you want to do. But that shot at least has eyes that way. If you shoot the snake side, you have no idea if they made it, if they didn't make it, did they take a different route, did they go all the way into the snake? You're not going to be as useful that way. But that heads up shot is good. So maybe there's someone that likes to come up into this can, and we're going to talk about that next. So maybe that becomes an issue. This is a shot that coming, you have to really hug this real quick, and then so it's not going to be an easy shot, but coming up off the break, you could maybe come around this way and shoot through, kind of thread the needle a little bit. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, or maybe there's someone that likes to delay and then go up. If you come up to here, you can shoot into that gap and make it more difficult for them. From the can, you are able to shoot into the snake. So this is going to be someone that's probably going to be pretty important, just to have those eyes that way. But they do have that shot coming in this way. So this guy coming out to the can can shoot back into this can. So if they're just focused on shooting this snake, they're going to possibly get shot by the cross shot here on the way up. If they haven't gotten into the snake and you come to here, you can just pump paint through here. And I think you can still take a knee and be able to still shoot through there and have eyes that way to see if they're going into the snake or not. Then, of course, you have that snake corner shot. But it's going to be a tough shot. It's not necessarily like a guarantee. There's that same shot back, of course, if you wanted to throw paint that way back at that guy and have someone else worry about the snake shot, I guess you could do that. This blind shot, I think, might be a little bit too high. But if they're standing up a little bit tall, it might freak them out for a second and force them to have to dive back in. Just a possibility. And then, of course, you can shoot into this gap. Again, Dorito players, this 4 to 5 gap is going to be like, for you to make it across there, you just have to commit super, super hard. All right, so I don't want this to be super, super long. There's just a lot to go through here. So let's go from, we'll do the opposite this time. So go from the snake side wedge. So from this wedge, you can shoot through into the snake. So if you commit, let's say you saw them go into the snake, and you know that they didn't go across, or you want to come here and then just pump paint through here, you're at least going to be able to help the snake side because they're probably going to get stopped here. Can they battle you? Yeah, it's a bigger bunker. So they're able to come up over the top. They're able to do a lot more. But if you roll off and shoot into, where they want to get to, then, at least there's that option. And then, of course, there's that shot through there. Shooting through the little slope section, you can shoot through that. You have the blind shot into the tower here as well, and then into those gaps. Now, this is where these cross shots would probably be more useful, coming up into here to shoot this gap to keep them from diving across or to keep them from going. It's just a bigger bunker. You can really tuck into it and just pump paint through there. And you're not really going to have to, you might have to battle a little bit. This one's going to be really hard for them to get through. This one, I think they might be able to shoot through the inside. They have to step out a little bit. So this might actually be one that I would want to get to, because then I can help out the snake while also controlling the Dorito side. So if the snake says like, hey, there's this guy, he's just dove in, I can shoot real quick through that. It's just an option, just something to think about. This other wing, or this other wedge, again, Dorito players, look at that. See, another person that can shoot that. The heads up shot through here is going to be difficult for this guy to be able to move across. So if you have paint in the air, it's going to be difficult for them to come across into that Dorito one. Your inside shots, you do have some, but I don't know, other than this one into the snake, I don't know. I feel like this guy is probably going to be a little bit better to shoot to keep this guy in, because then if they do kind of put him in, he can roll off and then shoot paint right over the top through here, and it should drop pretty tight into that section there. So it's probably going to be a little bit more useful. This guy is able to pump paint, but I think this one's going to probably be better to shoot the heads up, actually. You can see my brain is constantly trying to figure out what's going to be best here. Okay, so let's talk about the bricks. Brick has that same shot, same into here, into this gap. I don't know that that's going to be super useful, but into this section, you're able to pump paint through. You're able to pump paint through here, and you can shoot into that tower. The other brick, this one is going to be a battle. I don't know that I would want to necessarily sit here, just because all it takes is them to have a real good snapshot, and then if you're posted, it's not going to be as beneficial as something like this, where I can tuck in more and pump paint, and then even if they dive, I can shoot into this next section right here. So yeah. So anyways, so shooting up into the center sections here, this one would be real solid to shoot into the snake, because you can get into there. This guy coming up is going to be an issue, where if they might already be posted, to shoot that cross to keep you from out of there. But I think you might be able to move up pretty quickly through there. And then just being able to keep them from there, keep them from getting into the snake. You can even shoot this same gap and eliminate the moves into that section as well. Now, getting into, oh, I forgot. So this little W, I'm not sure how useful it's going to be, just because it's so small. Now, bumping between these two maybe could be something that kind of messes with people. You do have some gaps. I think I would just prefer to be in a larger bunker if I'm going to try to be controlling someone, but it's something to at least look at. Once you get to their side, I don't know that... Okay, I take that back. I think getting up into their side, if you're really controlling it, then you're good. You're able to control whatever side it is that you want, whether it be snake or Dorito, from either of these wings. You can help keep your players, or keep them from being able to fill out wide, and of course be able to go through. But it's tough to say that this would be a move that I would make like off the break or something. Maybe this one would actually be pretty good. Because they're trying to come up into here, you can go through and shoot them, but I don't know, it might be better to sit back here for a second to figure that one out. All right, so bounce shots. I'm not, again, as with any other time that I do bounce shots, I am not 100% sure that these are going to work every single time or at all. So let me move the camera a little bit more so that way it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, so from the brick or from this Aztec, I think you could bounce it off of this Snake 2 and it'll skip into the tape side of the Snake 1. I think that's going to be pretty good. So this guy can dump paint into there, but then also every once in a while maybe skip some off there. It might skip over. At least make their life miserable to try to fight through there. Over the top from this wing, off this can, it might skip into here. I think it might go too far back behind them. Again, these are all ones that I'm just looking at. Just go and try it. See if there's something that works or doesn't work. That's completely fine. If you get low, I think if you skip it off either of these sides of your mirror, it'll skip over. This one might be a little bit better because you're shooting at more of an angle already and then skipping into that tower. This one, if they're posted, I think if you stay low, you might be able to be blocked out a little bit. I think they can see a sliver through there. But it might be enough that at least skips in and then gives you the chance to move up to help out with your Dorito side or maybe your Snake side needed help, whatever the case may be. From this brick as well, if you skip off here, I think this one's, again, whenever you have these corners, it's not going to be as, I guess, easy just because like a can, which we'll get to, you have a lot of sections that you can skip it off of. That corner might make it go too much at like a 90, but it's just worth a shot. So shooting it here, I think this might be kind of a shot in the dark that it'll work, but bouncing off there maybe into the home. I think this one will probably be pretty good though. Or actually, let me go this way first, and then I'll get back to that. So this other brick off this tower, I think has a chance of skipping into that can. From here, the reason why I'm doing this one is because if you shoot the bottom section, it's going to make it skip up. So you think about a Dorito goes down. It's a triangle. So if you shoot the bottom section, it's going to make it kind of shoot up at an angle. Most people are going to be playing these standing up, so it might be enough that it skips up a little bit and is able to at least catch them off guard or put them in to help your Dorito to get up the field. With this Dorito, you're able to shoot the can here, and I think that's going to skip in pretty well. Now, I don't know that this guy posted this way is really going to be that useful anyway. Yes, he could technically just be pumping paint through here, but I think there's just enough that he's able to wrap, or she is able to wrap, shoot this can, and it'll skip in enough that it might give you a chance, or maybe freak him out enough that you go to here and then shoot. I don't know. But also off this can from this Dorito, I think it'll skip into the home. You just have to find the right spot. So the one that I think will be pretty good though, I forgot this one, sorry. From the wing off the box into the Snake corner, again, that one's a little bit iffy. It might work because you're at more of an angle anyway. You're not shooting it as heads on. So it might open up into there. But from this tower, off the little W into the brick, if they're posted this way, it might work. I'm not going to say it's 100%. Of these, I think this one will probably work best. This one probably worked pretty well. I think this one will work pretty well. This one I'm pretty confident about. But there's a couple that I'm just like, I don't know. So we'll see. But tell me what you guys think. Thank you again to everyone that's already bought some of the headbands. I'm sorry for this one going over 30 minutes. But yeah, tell me what you think about the layout. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What side do you think is going to be best? All of that. So thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win.